Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Sauron Build-A-Figure Wave Wolverine figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
And a quick look at the artwork on the side of the box. It is the same on both sides. Alright, so I've got Laura Kinney, aka X-23, aka Wolverine, out of the package here. And this is X-23 and her Wolverine costume. This is from the all new, all different Marvel imprint. This is after the events of Secret War, when she donned this outfit to kind of pay homage to the original Wolverine. If I'm not mistaken, the Old Man Logan version of Wolverine was still running around in the universe. He may still be running around in the main universe. And at this time, when they launched Laura and her Wolverine costume, or launched that particular book, because she had a solo book, I'm pretty sure that the original Wolverine was still deceased. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this figure is pretty much what you would expect from one of the female bucks from Marvel Legends, from the smallest female buck that they put out. It's not really much to write home about. I'm happy to report that both of her claws came out pretty straight, so that's good. And they did include the foot claws as well, which you can see down there. So let's get into her accessories. So she is packed in with the left arm to complete the Sauron Build-A-Figure. I mean, I guess we can't really count the Build-A-Figure part as an accessory for her, although I always kind of peg it as such when I'm going through these reviews. But I just want to take a close look at her deco and highlight a few things before we get into that one accessory, which is probably the most attractive thing to me about this figure. But anyway, like I mentioned, her claws came out really nice, and they did include the foot claws, which are detachable, which was cool. But then you got that hole still right there in the boot, and I'm not really a fan of that. It would have been nice if they gave us another little part where you can just complete this and make it look whole again. Maybe just like a little yellow pegging that you can put there. But at the very least, it was cool that they included that, being as though we did not get that in the previous X-23. And I saw a lot of people comment about that when I reviewed that figure. Not really a fan of the windswept hair, although it does look good. And when you get her in something dynamic, or have her stoically standing amongst a mountaintop or something like that, it would look cool. But, you know, when you want something vanilla indoors, it looks kind of silly. I'm never really a big fan of the windswept hair. And I see a lot of little paint imperfections on here. I wasn't really a fan of this costume to begin with, but having it out of the package in hand, it has grown on me a little bit in the past 5 minutes. But I do see quite a few paint imperfections. There's a lot of bleeding here down this line and on the biceps here. And it's not the cleanest paint job on this particular version. Now, I know if you, when you see these show up at retail, you may have better luck as far as looking through the pegs and finding one with better paint, but mine is not the greatest. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The head sculpt looks okay. Obviously you can pop it off, so I'll get into that and show you the additional head sculpt. And there's a look at the neck peg. Extremely small, and you can even see even more paint imperfections here that show up when you remove the head. Even some paint that's chipping and some loose plastic. I might have to take to this neck with the X-Acto, but this I like. I like the way the unmasked head looks. I like the way the hair sits in the back, and I'm really interested to get this head on maybe some plainclothes bodies. But I think the head might be just a little bit on a large side. I do think the head looks just a little bit large for the body. But then again, some girls got big ass heads, some guys got big ass heads, boys. So, you know, it could still work, or it does still work. But I do think they did a pretty good job of the character's likeness, and I do like this unmasked head sculpt. I think it looks good. And I didn't realize I lost one of her claws somewhere. I'm gonna have to find that. But just showing you the articulation on this head before I go over the full body articulation. You can turn left to right, and she can look down pretty far. Obviously not gonna look up too far. because of how the hair moves down the small of her back, moves down the middle of her back. But that's pretty much all you're going to get with this unmasked head. Alright, I found my foot claw. It's going to be a lot of lost foot claws out there. You're going to have to be careful with that. But in terms of articulation, like I said, this is the smallest female buck that Marvel Legends offers. Nothing, no surprises here. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up pretty far. You could actually do a full 360. I forgot to mention that this belt was a separate piece, but the head with the hair and with the mask on will turn left to right. She'll look down. She'll look up, barely, just a little bit, but left to right, a little bit of a pivot. You get a single jointed elbow. It'll swivel. You get a hinge and a swivel on the wrist. You get upper torso articulation. It'll rotate. Not going to come forward too much. Not going to go far back too much. This is so disappointing, man. I really want them to start implementing an ab crunch on the female figures. I always say that. T-joint at the pelvis. Leg is only going to come up about that far. A split only looks like that. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee. Do you get rotation on the boot? Nope. You get a hinge and a pivot on the foot, and that's pretty much it. Now, for somebody who is extremely agile and, you know, vicious in her attacks and her running and jumping and all of that stuff, you would want more articulation for this character. No question about it. So, you know, underwhelming. And I had this right arm rotated the wrong way, but you do actually get just a little bit more than 90 degrees as far as the bend at the elbow, but still not the greatest. And, you know, you always want to get any Wolverine character in that great crouching pose, and you're just not going to get that out of her, and she looks a little silly like that. Unfortunate. And a couple quick size comparisons. On the left, we have the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure Wave Wolverine. And on the right, we have the Dormammu Build-A-Figure Wave Nico, and you can see how those stack up. In case you want to see how that looks, I think that looks pretty cool, actually. So the pegs on the head are the same. And a couple more comparisons with other female characters. We have the Luke Cage and Claire 2-pack Claire on the left, and then we have Jessica Jones from the Man-Thing Build-A-Figure Wave on the right. And I was kind of hoping that I can get the unmasked head on the Jessica Jones body, but then I remembered that the Jessica Jones body is a little bit larger than the smallest female buck, which is what Wolverine here in the middle is on. So that's unfortunate. The pegs don't match up. Again, you saw how small that peg was for Wolverine, so you're definitely not going to get the unmasked head on either one of these bodies on the left or right. If you could, though, it would probably look pretty decent on this body. If you could actually get it on here, if you wanted to Dremel it or whatever, it would still be a little large, I guess, for X-23, but it could work. And then there she is next to the Ultimate Riders Wolverine on the left without his hands, because the hands are on the, I guess that's the Warlock Build-A-Figure Wave Old Man Logan on the right. I don't think I ever tried the hands on Old Man Logan, so I wanted to try that. And then there she is next to another version of herself, the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure Wave X-23 on the left. And then this is still the Old Man Logan figure on the right from the Warlock Build-A-Figure Wave, but I swapped on the May Shelf Old Man Logan head here. Boom, there's a look at that. And it looks great for a nice relaxed unmasked look for X-23. So if we finally get to complete our X-Force or different renditions of our X-Force team, and you wanted the team sitting around unmasked and kind of just chilling, then that is definitely an option. I like the way that looks. Alright, that's pretty much it. I'm getting up out of here. I totally forgot to mention that there are 6 figures in this wave, and you're going to need all 6 to complete the Sauron Build-A-Figure. So you can't pass up on X-23. Not that I would recommend that you do. Although she is a little underwhelming, like I said, the unmasked head and her looking really nice in a stoic pose like this is probably still worth it. You know, I'd pick her up. I'd still recommend it, but I have to really push for Hasbro to give us a new female buck in 2019. I'm going to make it my business to do that when I go out to SDCC this year and when I speak with the Hasbro brand team. But yeah, just like the X-23 from the Sasquatch Build-A-Figure Wave, she does look really nice in a vanilla pose, and you can definitely get some great pictures if you find one that has decent paint apps and not too many paint imperfections. So yeah, stay tuned for more reviews for the figures from this particular wave. And as always, rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell down there. And until next time, Peace.